Hey guys, it is your Wednesday read aloud. We are on chapter 19. Nicknames run in the family is what this chapter is called. This bowling thing, said Grandpa Johnny one day after school. Not the smartest you've ever done, David. Boys, we need to talk. Can we just eat our cookies while we talk? Fine. Just don't spray me with chocolate chip spritz. So, I sort of growled, because we were still mad at the whole world, and Grandpa Johnny was in the world. Are you going to start calling me stupid too? Nah, he said. That's not the right nickname for you. You're far too smart to be stupid. You're more of a Davo or Speedball, maybe Scooter. Scooter? Grandpa Johnny shrugged. I like watching you two boys play basketball on your skateboard. It reminds me of this scooter I used to fly around town on when I was your age. I always wanted to be called Scooter. Well, what about me? Said Michael, talking with his mouth full of food, which is against the rules with most adults, but not Grandpa Johnny. Am I supposed to be Pottymouth for the rest of my life? Nope, said Grandpa Johnny. Right now, I call you Cookie Mouth or Crumb Crusher. But if you keep trying to bully kids who are smaller and weaker than you, I'll end up calling you Crummy because it's a lousy thing to do, Michael. For whatever reason, the way Grandpa Johnny said that while frowning and wagging his bony finger at us made us all crack up. He was the one guy in the whole world who totally got me and Michael. He was someone we could both talk to, and he was always baking cookies for us, which made the talking a whole lot easier. You know, over the years, I've had a few nicknames myself, said Grandpa Johnny, leaning back into his chair and remembering. Like what? We asked. Let's see, in grade school, I was Boogers. How'd you get that nickname? Take a wild guess. When I was in school, I was called the Groove. What does that mean? I asked. Grandpa laughed. It means if I can find some moves on the dance floor, especially if the band played soul music. In the Navy, where I first learned to cook, they called me Seabiscuit and Gravy. Michael and I had to smile. Who knew nicknames could be fun instead of just plain evil? Your grandmother, he said to me, his eyes moistened slightly because Grandma Joanne passed before I was even born. I used to call her a Cookie. Did she do all the cooking at home? Asked Michael. Are you kidding? That woman couldn't boil water. But she was one smart cookie. I think that's where you get your brains, David. Grandpa Johnny was forever telling me how smart I was. Guess he didn't get the memo about me being stupid. What did she call you? Asked Michael. Stretch, said Grandpa Johnny without missing a beat. Because I'm so tall. We all cracked up again. Grandpa Johnny was maybe, and I'm being generous here, 5 feet tall. He needed one of those claws on a stick to pull stuff off the highest shelves in his restaurant. He had like 6 different step stools he took with him everywhere, wherever he lived, and he absolutely hated ceiling fans. Stay on high all winter long, you indoor whirlybird. See if I care. Chapter 20. Things can always get worse. Michael always says, well, at least we know things can't get any worse. But then, of course, they do. Grandpa Johnny died. I don't know how close you are to your grandparents, but since my dad left when I was so young, I sometimes thought of Grandpa Johnny as my father. Crazy, right? But he was the one who was always there for me, with a smile, a little advice, a plate of fresh-baked cookies. Grandpa died peacefully, in his sleep, thank goodness. He just went to bed one night and didn't wake up the next morning. I guess we should be happy about that. There wasn't any pain or scary race to the hospital in an ambulance, but I never got to tell him goodbye, or thanks for the cookies, or I love you, or catch you later, Stretch. You know what the last thing I said to my grandfather was? See you tomorrow, Grandpa. I wish I could have said something better for the last time I would ever talk to him. The second he heard the news, Michael rushed over to see if there was anything he could do for me or my mom. Not really, I said, but thanks. We both realized that our lives were going to be a lot less interesting without Grandpa Johnny. He was just about the only grizzle snot grown-up who treated us like we were ordinary hickle-snicker-pock kids, said Michael. Mom was totally choked up when Grandpa passed because she had lost her dad. That was something that I had gone through, more or less, at a much earlier age. Not that my ex-dad was dead, although when Michael and I first found out what he did to us, we both sort of wished he had croaked. For a couple of seconds, anyway. More about my ex-dad later. Promise. One of my favorite memories of Grandpa Johnny? Him telling Michael and me that we'd be friends forever. I think he was right. Anyway, you could definitely say that losing Grandpa was the worst thing that had ever happened to Michael and me. Well, up to that point.